23. Phione. Starting at the bottom, we have Phione, the Pokemon equivalent of getting socks for Christmas. With a measly 480 base stat total, Phione is technically a mythical Pokemon, but let's be honest, it's more like Manaphy's disappointing little sibling that can't evolve no matter how hard it tries. Phione's claim to fame is being the only mythical Pokemon that can be bred, which sounds special until you realize that breeding a legendary Sea Guardian gets you a worse Sea Guardian. It's like if you mix two sports cars and got a bicycle. Phione lives in warm seas and uses its inflation sac to search for food, which honestly sounds more like a pool floaty than a mystical sea deity. Poor thing has perfectly balanced stats of 80 across the board, making it the statistical equivalent of being aggressively mediocre at everything. In competitive play, Phione is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Technically it's edible, but not recommended for actual tea service. Number 22. Meltan. Meltan breaks the mold by being the first mythical Pokemon to debut in Pokemon Go before the main series games, which is like finding out your favorite indie band became famous through TikTok. With a base stat total of 300, Meltan has the distinction of being weaker than some first stage starter Pokemon, but hey, at least it's curious and expressive. This little liquid metal blob is supposedly drawn to metal that it can dissolve and absorb, including other Meltan. Imagine being so hungry that you'd eat your own species. That's some serious commitment to the grind. Meltan's design looks like someone melted down a hex nut and gave it googly eyes, which is honestly kind of endearing in a please don't hurt me sort of way. The most interesting thing about Meltan is that it can evolve, making it the only mythical Pokemon with this ability. Unfortunately, evolving requires 400 Meltan candy in Pokemon Go, which means you'll need to catch roughly 100 of these little guys. It's like collecting bottle caps, except the bottle caps are supposedly ancient mystical beings. Number 21. Shaymin, land form. Shaymin in its land form rocks a respectable 600 base stat total, but its stat distribution makes it about as threatening as a flower arrangement. With 100 in every stat, it's the statistical embodiment of Jack of all trades, master of none. Shaymin lives in flower patches and curls up to look like a flowering plant to avoid detection, which is basically the Pokemon equivalent of hiding under a blanket and hoping your problems go away. This grass type has the ability to dissolve toxins in the air and transform ruined land into lush flower fields, making it essentially Mother Nature's janitor. When it senses gratitude, flowers all over its body burst into bloom, which sounds beautiful until you realize this probably means Shaymin is constantly covered in pollen. Bless you, Shaymin. The most amusing part about Shaymin is that it transforms into sky form during the day when exposed to a Gracidia flower, but reverts back at night or when frozen. Imagine being a mythical deity whose power is completely dependent on both the time of day and not being hit by an ice beam. Talk about performance anxiety. Number 20. Manaphy. Manaphy brings a solid 600 base stat total to the table, but its claim to fame is being born on cold seafloors and having a wondrous power to bond with any kind of Pokemon. This sounds romantic, until you realize its signature move is Heart Swap, which is basically forcibly switching personalities with your opponent. That's not bonding, Manaphy, that's identity theft. As one half of the Sea Guardians duo, Manaphy can breed with Ditto to produce Phione, which raises uncomfortable questions about the genetics of mythical sea creatures. It's like if Poseidon could only have children with shape-shifting blobs. It's technically possible, but nobody really wants to think about the logistics. Manaphy's water typing and lack of recovery moves mean it's more of a one-trick pony than a versatile powerhouse. Still, being able to swim great distances to return to your birthplace is still pretty impressive, even if it sounds like the world's most dedicated game of Marco Polo. Number 19. Celebi. Celebi steps up the game with its 600 base stat total and time traveling abilities, though its psychic grass typing leaves it with so many vulnerabilities. It's basically a walking please don't debuff me sign. As the guardian of forests, Celebi travels through time to protect and nourish them, which raises the question, if you can time travel, why not just prevent deforestation in the first place? This little onion fairy has appeared in more Pokemon movies than some legendary Pokemon have had games, making it the Brad Pitt of the mythical world. Its connection to the Ilex Forest Shrine is touching, though you have to wonder if having a monument to yourself while you're still alive is a bit presumptuous. Celebi's signature move isn't actually signature anymore, and its stat distribution of 100 across the board makes it reliably average at everything. In competitive play, it's like bringing a Swiss Army knife to a sword fight. Technically, you have all the tools you need, but not necessarily the best tool for any specific job. Still, being able to heal Bell Tower in Pokemon Crystal was pretty neat. Number 18, Jirachi. Jirachi brings the same 600 base stat total as many other Mythicals, but with a Steel Psychic typing that's actually pretty solid defensively. This little star-headed wish granter only wakes up for 7 days every 1,000 years, which means it has the worst work-life balance in the Pokemon world. Imagine sleeping for 999 years and 358 days just to work a single week. That's either the ultimate vacation or the worst case of chronic fatigue that's ever been documented. The tags on Jirachi's head supposedly contain written wishes that it can grant when it awakens, though the fine print probably includes something about wishes being limited to what's physically possible within the Pokemon universe. No wishing for more wishes, no wishing for other legendary Pokemon, and definitely no wishing for the ability to stay awake longer than a week. Jirachi's signature move, Doom Desire, is hilariously dramatic for something that just hits with Steel-type damage after a delay. It's like ordering a pizza and being told it'll arrive when Destiny decides, except Destiny has terrible timing and your pizza is made of metal. Number 17, Victini. Victini breaks the traditional mythical mold by appearing before the starter Pokemon in the Unova Pokédex at number 000, making it the numerical equivalent of a warm-up act. With a base stat total of 600 distributed evenly, Victini is said to bring victory to those who befriend it, though this raises questions about what happens when two Victini trainers battle each other. Does the universe just divide by 0? This little rabbit-like creature creates an unlimited supply of energy inside its body and shares it with those who touch it, which sounds amazing until you realize it's basically a sentient energy drink. Victini's signature move V-Create is devastatingly powerful but lowers 3 of its stats, making it the Pokemon equivalent of going all out in the first 5 minutes of a marathon. The most amusing thing about Victini is that despite being called the Victory Pokemon, it's banned from most competitive formats. Apparently, bringing guaranteed victory to battles was considered unfair by tournament organizers. Who could have seen that move coming? Number 16, Mew. Mew holds a special place in Pokemon history as the original mythical Pokemon, hidden in the code of Red and Blue like a digital stowaway. With a base stat total of 600 distributed evenly, Mew supposedly contains the DNA of every Pokemon, making it either the ultimate ancestor or the result of the world's most ambitious genetics experiment. Mew's ability to learn nearly every move in the game makes it incredibly versatile, though this jack-of-all-trades approach means it's often a master of none. It's like having a smartphone that can do everything but doesn't excel at anything specific. Convenient, but not necessarily the best choice for specialized tasks. The relationship between Mew and Mewtwo is basically the Pokemon world's version of original versus reboot, except the reboot tried to take over the world and the original just wants to play hide and seek. Mew's playful nature and tendency to only appear to pure-hearted trainers makes it the mystical equivalent of a participation trophy. Everyone wants one, but you have to earn it through good behavior. Number 15, Volcanion. Volcanion brings something unique to the table with its water-fire typing, making it the only Pokemon to have this combination. With a base stat total of 600 weighted toward HP and attack, this steam-powered legendary lives in mountains uninhabited by humans, which is probably for the best considering it can allegedly blow away entire mountain ranges. The editor of Lumiose Press suggests that Volcanion has a unique organ that instantly vaporizes water into steam, which sounds impressive until you realize that's basically the biology of a sentient angry pressure cooker. Its signature move, Steam Eruption, can inflict burns despite being a water-type move, because apparently Volcanion didn't get the memo about type consistency. Volcanion's design looks like someone crossed a cannon with a tea kettle and decided it needed legs, which is either brilliant or the result of a very specific fever dream. The fact that it may have destroyed mountain ranges to found the Kalos region makes it either a legendary terraformer or the world's most destructive urban planner. Number 14. Hoopa Confined. Hoopa in its confined form brings a respectable base stat total and the most broken ability in Pokemon history, the power to warp space with golden rings. This psychic ghost imp uses its rings to steal things it likes and carry them to alternate dimensions, which is either the coolest magic trick ever or the most elaborate theft operation in the multiverse. With access to every legendary Pokemon through its rings, Hoopa is basically the Pokemon world's ultimate summoner. Its signature move Hyperspace Hole bypasses Protect and Substitute because apparently even basic defensive strategies are suggestions to a creature that can literally punch through dimensions. The 3-day time limit on its unbound form makes it feel like Hoopa is operating under some kind of mystical parole system. You can be incredibly powerful, but only for 72 hours, and then it's back to being merely very powerful. It's like having a gym membership that expires every 3 days. Number 13. Darkrai. Darkrai brings a more specialized stat spread to the 600 base stat club, focusing heavily on special attack and speed. This Dark-type legendary causes nightmares but apparently means no harm, it's just protecting itself, making it the Pokemon equivalent of an antisocial introvert who accidentally traumatizes everyone they meet. Darkrai's signature move Dark Void was so broken in competitive play that it got nerfed harder than a medieval siege weapon. Originally putting multiple targets to sleep with perfect accuracy, it's now significantly less reliable, proving that even dream manipulation has its limits in tournament play. The fact that Darkrai is particularly active on moonless nights suggests it either has excellent night vision or is just really committed to the whole creature of darkness aesthetic. Living on New Moon Island also means it has the most ominously named address in the Pokemon world, not exactly the kind of place you'd want to receive mail. Number 12. Keldeo. Keldeo breaks from the traditional 600 base stat total with 580, but makes up for it by being the 4th member of the Swords of Justice. This water-fighting Colt learns Secret Sword from its mentors and transforms into Resolute form because apparently even mythical Pokemon need character development arcs. Being trained by Cobalion, Virizion, and Terrakion gives Keldeo the most extensive resume of any mythical Pokemon. It's basically the intern who got promoted to the legendary team. Its Secret Sword attack uses attack stat for damage but targets special defense, making it the most confusing move since someone decided Psyshock should exist. Keldeo's design evolution from ordinary to resolute form is subtle but meaningful, like getting a more confident haircut after finishing graduate school. The fact that it maintains its new form as long as it knows Secret Sword suggests that confidence really is just about having the right skills in your move pool. Number 11. Meliota. Meliota brings another 600 base stat distribution, but with the unique ability to completely change its typing and stat focus with Relic Song. In Aria form, it's a normal psychic special attacker, but Pirouette form transforms it into a normal fighting physical powerhouse. It's like having a Pokemon that can switch between being a pop star and a martial artist mid-concert. The lore states that Meliota once filled people's hearts with joy through song and dance, but lost its melody when sorrow darkened the world. This makes it either a tragic figure of lost art or the Pokemon world's most depressing jukebox. The fact that it regained its song implies that the world got happier, which is surprisingly optimistic for Pokemon lore. Melioda's 2 forms represent the ultimate work-life balance. Elegant and artistic during the day, ready to throw hands when the situation calls for it. If only all performers had such practical backup plans. Number 10. Diancie. Diancie stands out as the only mythical Pokemon capable of Mega Evolution and allegedly evolved from a mutated Carbank, making it the ultimate example of evolutionary success through geological pressure. With a base stat total of 600 that jumps to 700 when Mega evolved, Diancie literally creates diamonds to protect itself, which is either the most practical defense strategy ever or an elaborate way of showing off. As a rock fairy type, Diancie has a unique typing that gives it some interesting defensive options. Its signature move Diamond Storm has a chance to raise its defense stat because apparently creating a literal storm of precious gems wasn't flashy enough on its own. The fact that Diancie can Mega Evolve raises questions about why other mythical Pokemon can't access this transformation. Maybe they just don't have the right accessories, or perhaps creating diamonds gives you the kind of confidence needed to transcend your base form. Either way, Diancie proves that sometimes the best defense is looking absolutely fabulous while fighting. Number 9. Genesect. Genesect brings a more aggressive 600 base stat spread focused on attack and speed, making it a physical powerhouse with a tragic backstory. Originally an ancient insect Pokemon feared as the strongest hunter 300 million years ago, Team Plasma decided it wasn't quite threatening enough and added a cannon to its back. Because when you resurrect an apex predator from the distant past, the logical next step is obviously weaponizing it further. The fact that N cancelled the project because he felt Pokemon would lose their ability if modified by science is ironically prescient considering Genesect ended up looking like a robotic bug with a gun attached. Its signature move Techno Blast changes type based on the drive it holds, making it the most customizable murder machine in the Pokemon world. Genesect's design perfectly captures the what could go wrong energy of Team Plasma's scientific endeavors. It's like they looked at a prehistoric killing machine and thought, you know what this needs? More laser. Number 8. Marshadow. Marshadow's points are distributed heavily toward attack and speed, 125 in attack and speed, making it a physical sweeper that can copy the power of other fighters' shadows. The fighting ghost type is so rare that its existence is considered mythical even within the Pokemon world, which is saying something when you live in a universe where 10-year-olds regularly encounter legendary dragons. Marshadow's ability to travel through shadows and become stronger by copying movements makes it the ultimate martial arts student. Always learning, always adapting, and probably always eavesdropping on private conversations. Its Zenith form activates when its fighting spirit burns bright, which sounds like the Pokemon equivalent of anime power-up Rage Mode. The exclusive Z move Soul-Stealing 7-Star Strike has one of the most unnecessarily dramatic names in Pokemon history, and that's in a franchise where moves are called things like Devastating Drake and Savage Spinout. It's like Marshadow watched too much martial arts cinema and decided subtlety was overrated. Number 7. Zeraora. Zeraora emphasizes speed and attack, a blistering 143 speed and 112 attack, making it one of the fastest mythical Pokemon in existence. This electric type can create powerful magnetic fields through its paw pads, allowing it to levitate and fly at lightning speed, which is either incredible or a physics nightmare that scientists prefer not to think about too hard. Being able to travel as fast as a lightning strike makes Zeraora the Pokemon world's answer to the Flash, except with more fur and presumably fewer time travel paradoxes. Its introduction in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon gave the Alola region its own electric type legendary, because every tropical paradise needs at least one creature capable of moving at supersonic speeds. Zeraora's design strikes the perfect balance between feline grace and electrical power, looking like what would happen if a lynx decided to become a superhero. And the fact that it can channel magnetic fields through its paws suggests that Zeraora's high fives are probably quite literally electrifying. Number 6. Zarude. Zarude represents Generation 8 as the sole new mythical Pokemon, bringing a 600 base stat total with a focus on attack and decent bulk. This dark grass ape lives in dense forest packs and can use its vines for healing, making it part jungle warrior and part field medic. Its quick wit in battle combined with natural healing abilities makes it the Tarzan of the Pokemon world, except with better healthcare. Being added to Sword and Shield via update rather than being included from launch gives Zarude the distinction of being the first DLC mythical Pokemon, which is either innovative or a sign that even legendary creatures aren't immune to modern software distribution methods. Zarude's pack-based lifestyle is unusual among mythical Pokemon, most of whom prefer solitary existence or being worshipped from afar. Having a quick wit suggests that Zarude is probably the strategic mastermind of its forest community, planning elaborate vine-based heists and coordinating pack hunts with military precision. Number 5. Melmetal. Melmetal stands as the only mythical Pokemon with a Gigantamax form and represents the evolution of our little liquid metal friend, Meltan. With 600 base stats heavily weighted toward HP and attack, this steel-type giant was apparently worshipped 3,000 years ago for creating metal, making it the Pokémon world's original industrial revolution. The fact that Melmetal's lifespan ended 3,000 years ago, causing it to split into multiple Meltan, creates one of the most interesting life cycles in Pokémon lore. It's like if a god could reincarnate as hundreds of tiny versions of itself, waiting to reunite when the time is just right. The mystery box storage system suggests that ancient civilizations were remarkably forward-thinking about Pokémon preservation technology. Melmetal's Gigantamax form being available only through Pokémon Home Transfer makes it the most technologically dependent mythical Pokémon. Even ancient metal gods apparently need cloud storage solutions in the modern era. Number 4. Hoopa Unbound. Hoopa Unbound transforms from a mischievous imp into an absolute powerhouse with 680 base stats distributed for maximum destruction. This psychic dark behemoth can summon legendary Pokémon from other dimensions at will, making it the ultimate call for backup Pokémon. When your signature ability is literally summoning other legendary creatures to fight for you, you've pretty much won the power scaling game. The prison bottle limitation keeping Hoopa in this form for only 3 days suggests that even the Pokémon universe has safety regulations about interdimensional portal abuse. It's like cosmic authorities decided that unlimited power was fine, but only on a long weekend basis. Hoopa Unbound's ability to warp space and summon legendary Pokémon makes it the closest thing to a cosmic level threat in the Pokémon world. When your party trick is casually pulling Dialga out of another dimension, you've officially transcended normal power levels and entered probably shouldn't exist territory. Number 3. Pecharunt. Pecharunt represents the newest addition to the mythical roster and brings a unique poison ghost typing with the most disturbing ability set in Pokemon history. This little peach can produce binding mochi that draws out desires and potential while enslaving anyone who eats it to its will. It's like if a food truck operator decided to branch out into mind control, except the food truck is a mythical Pokemon and the mind control is permanent. As the master of the Loyal 3, Pecharunt demonstrates that even among mythical Pokemon, some are more mythical than others. Using toxic chains to transform Okidogi, Munkidori, and Pheasantipiti into the legendary Pokemon they are today while granting their wishes makes Pecharunt either the most generous benefactor or the most manipulative deity in Pokemon lore. The fact that Pecharunt survived Ogerpon's defeat by retreating into its shell and rolling into the forest creates one of the most undignified escapes in legendary Pokemon history. Imagine being a cosmic level puppet master and your emergency exit strategy is basically becoming a bowling ball. Number 2. Magearna. Magearna brings a respectable 600 base stat total with a Steel Fairy typing and the most sophisticated origin story among mythical Pokemon. Created by a scientist 500 years ago for a king's daughter, this artificial Pokemon contains actual machinery and houses an artificial soul called a soul heart. It's like someone decided to create the perfect companion and accidentally achieved technological singularity in the process. Magearna's ability to understand human emotions and feelings makes it the most empathetic artificial intelligence in the Pokemon world, assuming you don't count Porygon Z's chaotic interpretation of emotional data as legitimate empathy. The original color form, representing its appearance when first presented to the princess, adds a touching historical element to its design. The fact that Magearna was created through 16th century technology suggests that the Pokemon world's scientific capabilities were either remarkably advanced, or that its version of the Renaissance included significantly more mystical elements than our own. Either way, creating a fully sentient artificial Pokemon with medieval-era tools is impressive enough to warrant legendary status. Number 1. Arceus. At the absolute pinnacle of mythical Pokemon stands Arceus, the normal-type creator deity with 720 base stats and the responsibility of having literally shaped the universe. According to mythology, Arceus emerged from an egg before existence itself and created the world with its 1,000 arms, which raises theological questions about what laid the original egg and whether arms are the most efficient cosmic construction tools. Arceus's multi-type ability allows it to change form and type based on which plate it holds, making it the ultimate adaptable legendary. Its signature move, Judgment, literally calls down divine wrath because apparently regular Pokemon moves weren't dramatic enough for the creator of reality. As the only mythical Pokemon considered the master of multiple legendary trios, Arceus sits at the top of the cosmic hierarchy. It created the Lake Guardians and the Pokemon of Myth, making it essentially the middle management of the Pokemon universe, responsible for delegating cosmic responsibilities while somehow still finding time to battle 10-year-old trainers who stumble into its dimension. The fact that Arceus can be caught with a regular Pokeball raises more philosophical questions about the nature of divine power and whether the creator of the universe is just really polite about being captured. Maybe omnipotence includes being a good sport about children's games. From Fione's tragic mediocrity to Arceus's cosmic supremacy, mythical Pokemon represent the full spectrum of legendary power in the Pokemon world. Whether they're time-traveling forest guardians, interdimensional portal masters, or literal creator deities, each brings something unique to the mythical table. The evolution of mythical Pokemon design, from simple stat spreads to complex mechanical interactions, shows how the franchise has grown in sophistication over 9 generations. From Mew's simple perfection to Petra Runt's mind-controlling catering system, these legendary creatures continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in the Pokemon universe. Remember, in a world where pocket monsters can manipulate time, space, and reality itself, the real myth might be that any of this actually makes sense. But hey, that's what makes it fun. What's your favorite mythical Pokemon? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Pokemon content that takes legendary creatures way too seriously while also never seriously enough.